Alright everyone, it's time for Occult Literature, video number 363, The Roots of Ritualism in the Church and Masonry. This is actually a work by H.P. Blavatsky, so this is the founder of Theosophy. It's one of her shorter works. I kind of like some of those better than her larger doctrines. Her larger works are the most famous ones, and a lot of them later on, but she had some dozens of essay-length writings, actually, and some slightly longer than essay-style works like this that are also definitely worth reading. Now, link in the description, of course, to my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links are to my books, blogs. There are a couple of other Blavatsky titles there. I know Stanzas of Zion I did. I think there was one other. Great deal of theosophical literature, therefore that's going to be the first of the next three compilation works. It will be on theosophy. Also, European paganism and witchcraft in the burning time sense. So update soon about that on the books, blogs. Again, links in the description to those if you want to keep up to date on my literary goings-on. This particular work is mostly linguistic. I like that kind of work specifically. I took linguistic anthropology and got a little bit obsessed with the topic, and now I can't stop fucking seeing propaganda literally everywhere I look. Boy, it'll open your eyes when you understand the basic rudiments of just the concept of language creoles. Anyway, if you look at Freemasonry and Christianity, part of this is an apologetic doctrine towards Freemasonry, ostensibly saying, look, you know, these people think it's devilish or whatever, here's the connections between them. But the roots of that same ritualism are seen as basically stems from the same root by Blavatsky. And this was a topic that was very much in vogue, especially in this era of time. We're talking roughly the 1870s through the 1920s. The idea of the origin of religions, it was paired with anthropology and all of these other things. That was a big thing. The idea of rediscovering the past actually is sort of the main underlying obsession of these kinds of works. Blavatsky also talking about root races in Atlantis and Lemuria and all of these other things, and then Agartha and the wise masters lost in some cave somewhere after a continental shift or whatever. These things, these stories can be compared to El Dorado, Don Quixote, and things like that. It's sort of like search for truth, quest for immortality, for knowledge, trying to rediscover or newly discover things. It was a time of expanse. We have to understand the geopolitical arrangement of the world in the late 19th century. The Western world, Europeans, Americans mostly, were expanding into parts of the world that had been scarcely explored in some cases. And so it took with them all sorts of new realms of possibility, and they were studying everything that moved and didn't move in order to try to glean more information about the world around them. And it's very interesting. Anyway, this particular work, I would recommend it. Again, it's short. It's 46 pages long, so it's on the short side. It is Blavatsky, so you do also get a little bit of bizarre language usage. Like certain grammar is kind of new agey. I've redacted some of that. I left intact her use of uppercase for no reason at times. I decided to leave that intact for effect because it is Blavatsky. Normally, I would remove that from a work and attempt to make it flow more as an editor, but with Blavatsky, it's impossible anyway because it's too profuse. She had a very interesting way of writing at times, and I don't mean that as an insult, and it is interesting. It's just not necessarily grammatically proper as for our for the current century. Anyway, again, link in the description to my edition of this work on Amazon. Second and third links to my books, blogs. I do recommend it, especially if you're into theosophy. It's one of the underlying bases of that system because it's from Blavatsky. That's about all. Peace out.